Hey there folks, got a new knife for you. What I have here is the Vagnino zip slip. If you guys were watching the episode of Weakness of Steel where we had guest Scurvy, Jonathan, he brought one of his custom Vagninos, which is it's also a zip slip, but it was a custom version. This one is a mid-tech from Mike. He calls it his custom tech, so I guess he calls it custom tech because some of the work he does do himself, not completely. But when I first saw Scurvy's, his zip slip, I was so impressed with it. It's like, wow, what is that thing? What is that knife? And again, I got turned on to slip joints lately because of the knife community. My good friend Chris from Knife Thursday, watching Randy Johnson's videos regarding the, he's a big collector of like slip joints, so it definitely piqued my interest, and Chris just fueled it. So about a month ago, Chris is texting me, showing me pictures of this sway back jag. It's like, wow, that's neat looking. And what does he do? He buys it for me. He goes, I'm buying it for you. I'm like, no, don't buy it for me. I don't want it. He goes, nope, it's done. Ships it to me. Got it. I've been meaning to pick one up, and now I got to pack this for a while just to check it out. I definitely very impressed with it. We kid each other on Weakness and Steel, call it a grandpa knife, and I guess it is like your grandpa's knife. It's definitely not what I'm accustomed to with my flippers. I'm a flipper guy, but this is definitely something very cool, I think, to carry, and it's definitely got a unique look to it. I haven't put the fake patina on it like some people. But I'll let that happen on its own. Just muting my phone before someone texts me. So yeah, so this is the swayback jack, the case swayback jack. If you guys are familiar with the slip joints, it's got a half stop. It does not lock in place, but they have that half stop basically to prevent you, I guess, from snapping close on you, because it is very, very, very sharp. So cool. So it's definitely two-hand deployment. You have to, dig your thumbnail into that thumbnail deployment curve there, and you're good. So been interested in that, and here comes Scurvy with this thing. His was in the show. He had like it looked like it was like a light blue lightning strike handle. This one's G10, black G10 with this grain pattern on. Pretty cool. And what drew me to this, now that I'm, lately into like slip joints, is that you can deploy it one-handed via this this hole. So it does have a lock stop, and then it, stays open, held on to by the tension, the flat bar. So the half stop on this is not quite 90 degrees as compared to the swayback jack here. See, this one's more 90 degrees. This one's just a little bit off. That's the way Mike does it. And I'll pick his brain at Blade. He's definitely going to be a Blade. I'm definitely going to say hello to him. Check out some of his customs. The one that Scurvy had at the show was, I believe it was like a drop point. Now, when I was looking around for this, actually I couldn't find it. Scurvy, again, was very instrumental in helping me get it, find it. He sent me the link. I picked it up at Blade Art. I believe this was about 250 bucks. So very reasonable. I mean, it is a mid-tech, custom tech, whatever you want to call it. But they had the drop point, I believe. Yeah, it was a drop point. They had a Warney blade, which I was very tempted to get. And then they had this Tanto style blade. So I was more drawn to the Tanto style blade. It is a smaller knife. Overall length is less than 7 inches. The blade length is only 2.875. It's like less than 3 inches, so it's definitely a small knife. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's definitely very pocketable. Let's see, here's my Sebenza 25, just as a comparison for you guys, or something that you guys are more familiar with, and you can see it's definitely a very, very small knife. This is the large Sebenza, by the way. Scurvy's custom Vagnino. He has a few, actually, and that's another thing I want to look forward to, seeing some of Michael Vagnino's custom knives that he'll have available at Blade. Scurvy's zip slip did not have this choil, so this is something new to this edition of the zip slip. It has an ever flush back bar, which means basically that the back bar does not raise up. I don't believe the tension on the tang of the blade is being put on by this back bar. I think this back bar is more like a cover, a hood if you'll have, and the spring, the leaf spring, is actually underneath the back bar. So when it deploys, it pushes up against the leaf spring, which is covered or under this hood of a back bar, and all the mechanisms under that. So that's just another feature that Mike added to this knife. Now, I could be wrong. I didn't take this apart. I'm just assuming that just by looking at it. You can't really look at it in there, but I believe, I thought I could see like the leaf spring under there. So yeah, pretty cool. So what else? A little about Michael Vagnino. He's an ABS Mastersmith. He has a Mastersmith rating from the American Bladesmith Society, which is a pretty big deal if you guys follow that kind of thing. Very nice person to talk to. I've just texted him a few times and I talked to him on Instagram. Interesting thing that just happened recently, because I was so impressed with this and I wanted to return the favor to Chris, you know, for buying this to me. One of our buddies on Instagram was selling a zip slip, a Vagnino zip slip. It was OD green, I believe. So I bought that from our common friend Rob Crossdraw, and he sent it to Chris, and Chris got it and he was checking it out. Now, I think Rob, you know, used this knife, unlike me. He used it a lot, so it might have had a little bit wear to it. And Chris noticed that. He asked me that if my knife, he called it a detent. It's not really a detent. The tension placed on the blade by the leaf spring, was it, you know, did it have a snap to it, or was it, you know, soft? Chris was basically saying it had no detent. So he showed me a video, and he definitely did that. He could just basically, if you guys can see, it's a little tough for me to open. You can feel that there's tension on it and it snaps. Chris didn't. Chris was just like smoothly opening, and it was just, there was no snap to it. He could close it, and there was no snap. This one does. So, right? Like there was a detent on it. So he contacted Michael Vagnino, and Mike, not knowing Chris from a hole in the wall, he just said, yeah, sure, you know, why don't you send it to me and I'll fix it for you. He, you know, first Chris asked him, is that normal, or, you know, is it supposed to have like a little bit of a snap to it? And Mike definitely told him, yeah, no, there's something wrong, and offered to fix it right there on the spot, sight unseen. Just, I mean, he did show him the video, but, so I thought that was pretty cool. I said, that's pretty cool that you can just rely on the maker to fix a knife for you. So Chris basically said that he'll look him up at Blade, which is next week, and maybe Mike will take care of it then. Actually, Mike offered to just send him a new knife if he couldn't fix it. How cool is that? Now that's what I'm talking about. Customer service, standing behind your product. So now I know that if anything happens to this zip slip, I can just contact Mike Vagnino and he will do the right thing. Awesome. Yep. So that's basically it on this zip slip. I don't know if I did macros for you guys. I know I gotta do that. So here is the Tanto blade. It's kind of got like a little bit of a compound grind there. I don't know if you guys can see that. Nice swedge up top. And there's the name on it, zip slip. Pocket clip, I believe, is steel. I don't believe it's titanium. It's a nice deep carry. Craftsmanship is just very well done. Very good quality. So, yeah. So, Blade, I'm recording this. Today's Thursday. We're going to record Venus and Steel Friday, tomorrow. I don't know if this video will be up yet, but we're going to do our last vid just before Blade. Just talk about Blade. And definitely looking forward to it. If you guys have the opportunity to go to Atlanta, please stop and look us up. Find a guy with a beard, 2 Asian guys, and that's about it. I don't think Lee's going with us. I don't think, unfortunately, I don't think Frucci is going with us. He can't get off work, but your best bet is tracking down the bandit. You've seen pictures of him, and then ask him, hey, are you the bandit? Or listen for a little bit, because you will recognize his voice. You will recognize his laugh. You might even recognize my voice if I'm standing next to him. But where are you going to find us? More than likely, we're going to be by Ramon Chavez's table. If you're there early on Thursday, look for us at the Pit. We're going to be all over the place, but we'll definitely be by the Pit at the Renaissance Hotel. And, you know, that's a cool place to hang out. You'll meet knife makers, other knife nuts, YouTube personalities, and it's your chance to hang out with these guys that you've been watching making these knives on Instagram. So it's definitely a great experience. In fact, my takeaway from the last Blade show I went to was meeting the people, not scoring my knives. And actually, I'm not even going down there to look for knives this year. I'm just basically there for the community. And I will definitely be filming vids of the knives on the tables for you guys. We're going to be driving down there, 15-hour drive, so 3 gents, a lot of gas in the car, and I'm not talking about fuel. But yeah, a few people already been messaging me on Instagram what to expect for Blade, how to prepare for it. Basically, my suggestion for you is, if you're definitely looking for your Grail knife Friday, and I hope you got the early pass, I forget what they call the VIP pass. The Wieners have media passes along with Knife Thursday. We'll also be hanging out with Knife Thursday. But if you're there Friday and you get in early, definitely map out your priority table that you want to get to. If you want to get to Ramon's table, it's 21F, I believe. Find that on the map, know exactly where it is, because it is going to be a sprint for some of these knife makers. Like the Bandit and Meneve, they didn't know each other last year. They both wanted to get to Jake Hoback's table. They ran over there. Now, Blade is huge. Blade is like the size of a Home Depot, like a Price Club, like a Costco. It's that huge, filled with tables. So you definitely got to know where your maker will be. By the time the Bandit and Meneve got to Jake Hoback's table, done. Everything was sold. But Ramon is doing something different. He's going to have early... I don't want to call it early bird knives. So if you're the first one there to his table, he has a few knives to sell right there, his price, boom, on Friday. And then Saturday, he's going to do the same thing. And then he'll also have lottery knives. So he's really spreading out the wealth very, very smartly. I think he's going to definitely accommodate a lot of you collectors, a lot of you knife nuts, if you want to get your redemption. So he's going to have early bird knives. So if you're there first, boom, 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 he'll sell to you a few, I don't know exactly how many. And then he'll have the lottery knives. And then he'll also have some special knives that are open bid for you guys that are real knife nuts and you want to bid on some of Ramon's very unique one-offs. Definitely looking forward to hanging out with you guys. Don't be shy. Please come up to us. Yeah, that's the best part of Blade to me. The best part of Blade is hanging out with the people, hanging out with the community, and everyone's so cool. Don't be afraid to talk to the makers. They want to hear your questions. They want your feedback. You know, they want you to know what you don't like about the knife. Most of the time, you're gonna love it anyway. Do enter the lotteries. You know. Yeah, it's definitely a good time. Don't forget to check out the knife makers that are not so famous, because they will be up and coming. They might be nobodies now, or you think they're nobodies, but a couple of shows they'll be the man. So yeah, that is for my rant. That is it. So hoping to hang out with you guys at Blade. Yeah, just look for the man with the beard. All right, guys, that'll be the Bandit. All right, guys. Peace.